Adolf Hitler, A Life in History. Adolf Hitler. A name that evokes fear, anger, and a legacy of destruction. Born on April 20th, 1889 in Braunau am Inn, Austria, Hitler would go on to shape the 20th century in ways that would alter the course of history forever. But how did a failed artist from a small Austrian town become the dictator of Nazi Germany? And how did his actions lead to one of the darkest periods in human history? Adolf Hitler's early years were shaped by personal tragedy and failure. His father, Alois, was a strict and demanding man, while his mother, Klara, provided love and stability. After his father's death in 1903, Hitler moved to Vienna with dreams of becoming an artist, but his hopes were dashed when he was rejected twice by the prestigious Academy of Fine Arts. This rejection, combined with the death of his mother in 1907, left Hitler feeling isolated, angry, and full of resentment. World War I became a defining moment in Hitler's life. Enlisting as a soldier, he served in the German army, where he was wounded twice. When the war ended in 1918, Germany was in ruins, its economy shattered, and its people humiliated by the harsh terms of the Treaty of Versailles. This climate of disillusionment set the stage for Hitler's rise to power. In the early 1920s, Hitler joined the National Socialist German Workers' Party, or the Nazi Party. With his charismatic speeches, propaganda, and intense nationalism, Hitler quickly became its leader. He promised to restore Germany to its former glory, blaming the country's problems on Jews, communists, and the weak Weimar Republic. His message resonated with many Germans who were desperate for change. In 1923, after an unsuccessful attempt to overthrow the German government in what became known as the Beer Hall Putsch, Hitler was arrested and imprisoned. During his time in jail, he wrote Mein Kampf, a manifesto outlining his vision for Germany and his racist, anti-Semitic ideologies. In this book, he laid the groundwork for his future policies, which would have catastrophic consequences. Despite his early setbacks, Hitler's influence continued to grow. By 1933, the Nazi Party was the largest party in the German Reichstag, and with political maneuvering, Hitler was appointed chancellor. From this position, he quickly consolidated power, passing laws that stripped Germans of their rights, silenced opposition, and set the stage for a totalitarian state. Hitler's ability to manipulate public sentiment was unmatched. Through grand rallies, emotional speeches, and the use of propaganda, he turned the people's anger and frustration into unwavering support for his vision. His promises of restoring national pride, rebuilding the economy, and uniting the German people resonated deeply. In 1939, Hitler's expansionist ambitions led to the outbreak of World War II. His invasion of Poland triggered the conflict that would engulf Europe and eventually the entire world. Over the next 6 years, Nazi Germany would commit atrocities that would leave millions dead, including the systematic genocide of 6 million Jews in the Holocaust. The war brought devastation across Europe, but Hitler's desire for power seemed unstoppable until the tide began to turn. By 1944, the Allies had landed in Normandy, and Germany was being pushed back on all fronts. Despite growing defeat, Hitler refused to surrender, clinging to the delusion of victory. On April 30th, 1945, with Soviet forces closing in on Berlin, Hitler committed suicide in his bunker. His death marked the end of Nazi Germany and the collapse of his regime. Yet, the scars left by his actions would linger for generations. Hitler's legacy is one of hatred, violence, and genocide. The Holocaust remains one of the most horrific crimes in human history, and the world is still grappling with the consequences of his actions. His rise to power and the destruction he caused serve as a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked authority, hate-driven ideology, and the fragility of democracy. Footage of modern-day memorials and education on the Holocaust today, we remember the millions who suffered under Hitler's regime, ensuring that history is not forgotten. Education about the Holocaust and the atrocities committed under Hitler's rule is essential to prevent such horrors from ever happening again. Adolf Hitler's life serves as a dark chapter in history, but it also serves as a warning a reminder of the devastating impact of hatred, intolerance, and the unchecked power of a single individual. It is a story we must never forget. End screen with the video title and a call to action to subscribe. This script covers the major events of Adolf Hitler's life, offering viewers a comprehensive view of his rise to power, his role in World War II, and his lasting impact on the world. It's essential to approach this topic with sensitivity, as it involves complex and tragic history. Make sure the visuals complement the tone of